Hey everyone, welcome back to Tipharot. Today I am back with a Q&A video. So it's been a while since I've done one of these. If you're not familiar, what I do is I go through all my comments, I pick 10 questions, and I do my best to try and answer them in this video. So without further ado, let's get on to question number 1. Question number 1 from Maggie is, do you think it's a good idea for someone with psychosis to lucid dream? Well, there's no reason that this would be a bad idea. Basically, when you're having a lucid dream, all it is that you're getting aware that you're dreaming within one of your dreams. It's not some kind of new experience that you've never had before. It's just gaining awareness during an experience that you're already having every single night. So there's no reason it would be a bad idea. And if anything, it might even have some therapeutic potential, because lucid dreaming can be a great tool for introspection and gaining insight into your own mind and the way it works. And so if you do have something like psychosis, you might actually be able to explore that safely within the context of a lucid dream. Question number 2. How long did it take you to go from not remembering anything to retaining most dreams? Well, what I'm actually going to say here is this should be rephrased to how long does it take you to go from not remembering anything to retaining most dreams? Because this is a habit where, if you stop writing in your dream journal for a while, you're going to start forgetting all your dreams again. And then you start writing again and it's going to come back again, and so on. I think for me, the first time when I first started writing in the dream journal, I went from not really remembering much of any dreams to remembering probably 4 to 5 a night most nights within just about a week or so. I think it really was just around a week or so of using my dream journal. And this is, fairly accurate most of the time. I will say that, the amount of effort that you put into your dream journal does impact it. When I am just being really lazy and I just write like a tiny quick entry, then it takes a bit longer for me to get up there. So I'll remember 1, 2, maybe 3 dreams a night, after a week or 2 of doing it, and then it'll take a bit longer to get up to say 4 or 5. But if you really rack your brain and write some detailed dream journal entries after you wake up first thing each morning, then you can go from almost nothing to some really good dream recall in just a week or so. So yeah. Don't expect it to take too long. Question number 3. What is cat? Well, this is a cat, but I'm assuming, based on the fact that this was in the how many methods should a beginner use, that this is about the technique called cat, or the cycle adjustment technique. This is a technique developed by Daniel Love. Now, while I know how the technique works, this is not something that I have a whole lot of experience on, which is why I haven't actually made a video on it yet. Because I have a really hard time sticking to strict sleep schedules and strict sleep and wake up times, which this technique involves a lot of. But if you want to learn more about it, you can search for cycle adjustment technique. Question number 4. Does pairing this with mild be more effective? And this is on my video about using the intention technique that I mentioned recently, where you're simply really setting an intention to lucid dream and using just that desire and that decision that you're going to get lucid to get lucid. Yes, you can pair this with mild for better results. One of the things about this intention technique is it's sort of there to be a technique that you can use when you're feeling a bit lazy and you don't really want to go through with a full length technique like say wild or something like that. But you can still pair it with other techniques just to actually boost how effective they are. And in fact, I suggest actually doing this most of the time if you are intending to lucid dream, setting your intention first rather than just doing the technique alone. So yes, pairing this with mild can be more effective. Question number 5. If you only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night, can you still have lucid dreams? Well, I can say without a doubt yes here, because I have had every sleep issue you can imagine, from not falling asleep to not being able to stay asleep, to sleeping way too long, to not sleeping enough, to, skipping sleep and everything. So if it wasn't possible, then you would not be seeing any videos on lucid dreaming from me and this channel would not exist. So yes, don't worry if you have bad sleep, if you struggle to sleep sometimes, if you don't sleep enough, you can still lucid dream. That said, one thing that you'll notice in a lot of my older videos is I talked a lot about establishing a good healthy sleep pattern first, and that's because that is good and healthy. And so if you can work to improve the amount of sleep you're getting, you should do that anyway. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get lucid dreams in the meantime. You absolutely are. It's just good for your health to try and work on that. Question number 6. Where did you get your sleep mask from? I have been looking for one for a few days and I couldn't find one. So I actually ordered mine from a local place here that, you're probably not going to be able to order from, and I don't even know if I know the place anymore because this was years ago. But seriously, just go on Amazon and search for sleep mask. Or if there's no Amazon in whatever country you live in, then one thing you can do is go to Google, search for sleep mask or whatever the equivalent would be in your local language, along with the word in your language for shop, and that will usually come up with results where you can buy it. Don't go crazy with it, you can just get something cheap and cheerful, and if it's really uncomfortable or something, at least you've only spent, a few dollars on it. And then if you like it and you feel comfortable wearing a sleep mask every night and, you want something a bit better, then you can spend a little bit more to get a nicer, more comfortable one or whatever. Question number 7. Vanta Black asks, is it normal for when you do a reality check, your finger doesn't go through, but pushes your palm inward, like poking your finger through slime? So, when you perform a reality check, the results aren't always going to be the same. Let's take this example of attempting to push a finger through the palm of your hand. Some of the time when you try to poke a finger through your palm, it's going to go straight through. Some of the time your hand is going to bend weirdly or distort or whatever, or it's going to, act like what the guy described, turn into slime, and, you push your finger through and you can see it poking through the skin in the back. And then some other times, nothing abnormal is going to happen. Your finger is going to hit your palm just like it normally does, and it's not going to go through, and you're going to think you're awake. Which is why I always suggest not just doing one reality check, but doing a few different ones together, and even repeating them a couple of times, just to be sure that you are in fact awake. That way it doesn't matter so much if one or two of your checks fail to alert you to the fact that you're dreaming, because you're going to end up finding out from one of the checks that you do either way. Question number 8. Almost 2 months sleeping late, like 5 AM, waking up 3 PM. Am I dying? No, I don't think you're dying, but you might be me, because that does sound like me with my inability to actually keep a fixed sleep schedule and my need to always keep resetting it, every 3 or 4 weeks or so. Question number 9. What do you think about spawning people? Do you have any workarounds for that? So one of the simplest ways to spawn people that I advise people try is actually to talk to the person that you want to appear as if they're already there. So here's an example. Let's say that you're inside your house and you want to make a particular person appear. Well, just imagine that they're in the next room and you've already been having a conversation with them, and then actually continue that conversation. And a couple things that you can do is you can say something that would imply that they should come out of the room and come to you, or you can ask them something that would get them to actually give you a response. Because then if you hear them responding from the room, then naturally when you walk in, your brain expects them to be there. So when you walk in, the person that you want to be there is actually there. I've tried a lot of different techniques for spawning characters in different ways, and for me, this is by far the most effective. Question number 10, and this is on my video about how to wake yourself up without an alarm, just by telling yourself to wake up at a particular time and relying on your subconscious to wake you up. So the question is, that's cool, but how does our subconscious mind figure out what time it is? Now, I love this question because it's a question that I had in my head for years after I discovered this technique. So I found that when I used this technique, I would wake up at the time that I wanted to wake up. I didn't get how. How did my body know when it was, 7 AM or whatever? But thinking about it, your subconscious mind has experienced every single day of your life. Your subconscious mind is pretty familiar with how long an hour is, how long a few hours are, how long your sleep cycles are. So it stands to reason that it's probably just that your body can work out how long from now it is till, the time that you want to wake up, and it can actually wake you up at that time. Now, I'm sure if you did this every day for 6 months and you actually analysed the results, you would find that it's not dead on every time. Sometimes you'll wake up at 7:05, sometimes at 6:55 and so on. But your subconscious mind can get a pretty close estimate to when you actually did want to wake up. Now, I imagine if you actually tricked yourself somehow, if you set the clocks wrong or whatever for a week or so and you didn't know what time it was, and you told yourself you wanted to wake up at 7, you would probably wake up at when you internally thought 7 o'clock was. So let's say you thought it was 2 o'clock. You would wake up in 5 hours time, even if that was actually 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever. because your subconscious just wouldn't have the necessary information to know exactly what time it is. Anyway, that's been 10 questions for today. If you want your questions featured in the next Q&A, just leave them on any of my videos, because when I actually pick the questions, I try to go through fairly randomly so that I give an equal chance to old questions, new questions, questions on videos that I haven't checked in a while, questions on the video I've just posted, and so on. Before you go, if you want to learn more about lucid dreaming, I highly recommend checking out my lucid dreaming book, The Lucid Dream Book, or my lucid dreaming course, Advanced Lucidity. You can get those from the links down in the description, or there'll be a link to my lucid dreaming book in the top right hand corner right now. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and enable notifications if you want to stay up to date with my videos, and if you want to keep watching, check out one of those videos on screen, go watch that, and I'll see you there soon. Take care.